354.
Fire in the kitchen, pretty good job, heavy smoke. We made a search of the bedroom for you, proved negative, no extension.
Although Staten Island is not the smallest borough in New York City, it has the least amount of inhabitants. Approximately 500,000 people are being protected by 3 battalions, 17 engine companies, and 12 ladder companies. Staten Island is mostly private dwellings, with some apartment houses and many taxpayers. It has more fire potential than ever before. When the Verrazano Narrows Bridge was built, the island had seen a drastic increase in their population. And of course, the fire duty increased. Since the island is completely surrounded by water, the units on Staten Island receive numerous distress calls each year for persons in the water. Rescue Company 5 of Staten Island has certified divers to handle these emergencies. Many people have been saved by these firefighters who risk their lives in the treacherous waters that surround that borough.
Units responding to the Pan Am motor Inn. SIDS information available upon request. 4-6, you have 3-2 and rescue number 4, okay.
Queens, the largest in size of all the boroughs with a population of approximately 2 million people. Queens is protected by 9 battalions, 51 engine companies, and 29 ladder companies. Although a large percentage of the borough consists of private dwellings, apartment houses and taxpayers play a major role. Both major airports, Kennedy and LaGuardia, are protected by Queens firefighters. In the past 10 to 15 years, Queens bravest have seen a drastic increase in fire duty. Today, some Queens fire companies rank along with the busiest of Harlem, the West Bronx, and Brownsville. Queens is going through a change. The hope is to never witness another arson battle like the Bronx and Brooklyn. Queens is experiencing the overcrowding housing problem like other boroughs of the city. With the increase of immigrants, private dwellings in Queens are turning into illegal multiple dwellings. 5 or 6 families in what was a single-family home. Steel bars on windows making entry and egress almost impossible. In recent years, the Queens fire death rate has soared to outrageous numbers. Once a quiet suburb to the Manhattan skyline, Queens is now dealing with big city problems.
Order to 1023, your location at ladder 163 and engine 292.
10-4. This is 1023 at 3010. What battalion calling?
Manhattan, population over 2 million during the day. Fire service, 12 battalions, 44 engines, and 32 ladders. High-rises, lofts, tenements, theaters, cramped into 23 square miles. Midtown, Harlem, Chinatown, Inwood, Soho.
Ask that woman how many people are supposed to be in this apartment.
Manhattan firefighters have faced some of the most serious and deadly fires ever fought in the city of New York.
Negative. You report to the deputy.
Although high-rise fires are not an everyday occurrence, they are known by firefighters to be the most serious. Large floor areas with oven-like temperatures are a difficult task for anyone to endure. With high-rise fires being a major concern to New York's bravest, they have truly become the experts in that field. Recently, FDNY celebrated their 125th year as a paid fire department. The celebration was labeled 125 years of tradition. Although the city, like many other things, has changed a lot since 1865, the firefighters traditionally have changed very little. They have gone from horse-drawn to diesel apparatus, from wooden to metal ladders, from bells to computers. But the spirit, dedication, the mission, and their bravery is a tradition that still remains today.
It's a very important moment for me. It's a lot of nostalgia. You think about 32 years that I was part of this service, and hopefully for another 4 or 5. And I just think of what happened and where we were and where we're going. And we look at all this apparatus, and you think of all the people that made up this department, what it all means to us. It's a very, very, very emotional moment for me.
To me, it means a great deal because I put 33 years in this department, so part of that history is mine. And the department itself is alive and well. We're doing well. We're progressing. And the people of the city of New York have an organization that can be very well proud of.
No matter what changes occur within or around the department, when the call for help strikes, the people of New York City know that the firefighters will be there.
The question is, someone asked me what it means to me to be a fireman in New York City. Well, to me, it's tradition. I have relatives that were in the fire department. I was a police officer before I was a fire department. It makes it kind of extra important to me because both of them are emergency services, but this to me is more rewarding. I love the New York City Fire Department. My family has been in it for many years. I love what we do, and I think that the people of the city of New York will love what we do.
Well, firefighters are incredibly brave human beings because they know things that we don't know, and we have to learn the things that they know in order for us to survive. For example, we always believe that fires are nice and light and homey, and Robert Redford runs through the flames and picks up the furniture and he saves people. But in a real fire, when a firefighter goes into it, knowing what he's going to face, it's totally black. He can't see his hand in front of his face. The heat is so intense that if the firefighter stands up, it'll melt his helmet and burn the back of his head off. And he can die if that mask breaks or in any way becomes defective. In a fire, you really don't have any time. It's instant reaction. I mean, you just can't turn back. So you have a group of men here who may be sitting around a firehouse having fun and enjoying life to the outward appearance, but when they go into a fire, you put your life on the line every time. And that's the most scary thing that you can face. So when they call them the bravest, you got to buy it, because if you know anything about fires, they are the bravest.
Give us an additional engine and truck. We got an occupied building with people above the fire.
Extra engine and truck, occupied building, people trapped above the fire. The choice words the officer in charge uses to let the dispatcher know the urgency of the request. Companies on the scene are already heavily involved. 6 stories, 20 or more apartments, maybe 100 or more people, and a good fire. Aggressive interior attack is the necessary plan to combat the existing situation. The firefighter on arrival must know what is vital to change the course of destruction. Their primary objective is to save lives, with the indisputable factor that their own life is at risk. Rushing in while others are trying to get out, beating the Red Devil, and at the same time doing it without loss of life or serious injury is the firefighter's goal. They are prepared for the worst. Last year, the brothers battled over 2,000 working building fires in New York City, about 5.5 working fires a day. New Yorkers know you can always count on the firefighters to be there when called.
When we pulled up, the fire was blowing out about 3 floors. Right from the first floor on up, people were hanging out all the windows, and made it up to the roof, took the bulkhead door, and saw that looked like the interior stairs were torched. The whole thing was scorched all the way up. The window frames were going, and there were people all coming out the rear.
On arrival at the building, we had heavy fire blowing up the face of the building and up the interior stairs. Numerous people on the fire escapes. It was only through the efforts of the men that nobody got killed at this fire.
1-8 to Division 7K.
It's amazing.
Okay, we found a lot of black spotting going up the pipe recesses of the 3rd floor. We've opened up the ceiling, and we're going into the line. There's no visible fire or anything. Recommend under control.
All right, 10th floor. The fire is apparently an arson fire. The marshals have a suspect that they're hunting down. He's previously set fires to motorcycles in the same building. Fire went up the hallway, burnt through a door on the 3rd floor, got into that apartment. It got into several apartments. Heavy smoke condition. And again, it's a miracle nobody was killed.